บ้านนอเดโมบ้านพี่อุทิโมไปหมดเลยบ้านพี่บอกข้างล่างไปหมดเลยห้องครัว
A tropical low-pressure system intensified by the seasonal monsoon has triggered devastating floods and landslides across Mae Sariang district in northern Thailand, leaving communities stranded, homes buried, and infrastructure crippled. The disaster, described by local officials as one of the worst in decades, unfolded over several days of relentless rainfall, culminating in a cascade of destruction on September 29th. The Thai Meteorological Department confirmed that Tropical Depression Bualoi, downgraded to an active low-pressure system over Luang Nam, Laos, collided with a strong southwest monsoon sweeping across the Andaman Sea and northern Thailand. This convergence intensified rainfall across the region, with Mae Sariang recording a staggering 131 millimeters of precipitation in a single day. The monsoon trough, stretching across upper Myanmar and northern Thailand, acted as a conveyor belt for moisture-laden air, fueling thunderstorms and flash floods. Rivers swelled beyond capacity, and saturated hillsides gave way, triggering landslides that buried homes and blocked roads. In Ban Pa Mak, Kat Subdistrict, landslides and flash floods swept through the village, damaging homes and bridges and rendering road access impossible. Emergency crews struggled to reach the area as fallen trees and debris blocked key routes. Residents described the sound of rushing water and cracking earth as terrifying and sudden. Further north in Ban Sai Khao, Huai Pha Subdistrict, 6 homes were inundated by mudflows and rocks. Roads were impassable until tractors were deployed to clear the debris, allowing emergency vehicles to reach affected families. District Chief Wurasak Panthong reported widespread damage along the Uam River, which surged past its banks and flooded low-lying areas. This is the most severe flooding we've seen in decades, he stated, urging residents to remain vigilant as more rain was forecast. On August 17th, a precursor to the disaster hinted at the dangers ahead. A local resident's car was swept away while crossing the main Gay Creek in the Mae Sariang Subdistrict. The vehicle had just picked up children from Ban Mae Lor Border Patrol Police School when a sudden flash flood surged through the area. Quick-thinking villagers intervened, rescuing the driver and preventing injuries. The car was later retrieved using a mixer truck after water levels receded. While cars can now cross the creek cautiously, motorcycles remain unable to pass due to ongoing rainfall. Local authorities have mobilized emergency teams to assess damage, clear roads, and assist displaced residents. Village heads and subdistrict leaders have been instructed to monitor rainfall and report emergencies immediately for rapid coordination. In areas at high risk of landslides and flash floods, residents have been urged to evacuate or prepare for sudden weather changes. The district office has set up temporary shelters and is distributing food, water, and medical supplies. Tractors and heavy machinery have been deployed to clear blocked roads, while search teams investigate reports of missing persons. The Thai Red Cross and local NGOs have joined the effort, offering psychological support and emergency aid. The floods have severely disrupted transportation and local commerce. Several bridges in Mae Sariang have been damaged or washed away, isolating villages and cutting off supply routes. Farmers report extensive crop damage, particularly in rice paddies and vegetable plots near the Uam River. Schools in affected subdistricts have suspended classes, and power outages have been reported in remote areas. Telecommunications remain patchy, complicating coordination efforts. Local businesses, already struggling from economic downturns, face further hardship as inventory is lost and facilities are damaged. Tourism, a vital source of income for Mae Hong's Sun province, is expected to decline sharply in the coming weeks. Meteorologists warn that the monsoon trough remains active, and further rainfall could exacerbate the situation. The Thai Meteorological Department continues to issue advisories, urging small boats in the upper Andaman Sea and Gulf of Thailand to remain ashore until conditions improve. Authorities are conducting continuous damage assessments and planning long-term recovery efforts. Engineers are inspecting slopes and riverbanks for structural integrity, while geologists monitor soil saturation levels to predict future landslide risks. The government has pledged support for reconstruction, including financial aid for affected families and infrastructure repair. However, residents remain wary, knowing that recovery will take months and the threat of further disasters looms. Mae Sariang's ordeal reflects a growing pattern of extreme weather events across Southeast Asia. As climate change intensifies monsoon variability and increases rainfall extremes, communities in mountainous and riverine regions face heightened risks. Experts call for improved early warning systems, resilient infrastructure, and community-based disaster preparedness. "We must learn from this," said a local NGO worker. "Nature is changing and we must adapt, not just react." "I saw the water rise like never before," said Somchai, a resident of Ban Pa Mak. "It came fast with rocks and mud. We ran uphill and watched our house disappear." "I'm grateful we're alive," said Nguyen, whose family was rescued from a flooded home in Ban Sai Khao. "But we lost everything. We need help to rebuild." "I've lived here 40 years," said Jerawat Kong Bunlap, village head of Mae Che. "This is the worst I've seen. We need better drainage, stronger bridges, and more warning." A relentless monsoon trough sweeping across northern Thailand has unleashed widespread flooding in Uttaradit province, submerging villages, collapsing homes, and displacing thousands. Fueled by Tropical Storm Bualoi and intensified by a powerful southwest monsoon, the disaster has overwhelmed the Nan River and triggered landslides across mountainous terrain. The Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, DDPM, has issued urgent alerts to 5 districts, warning of imminent river overflow and advising residents to evacuate vulnerable family members. As of September 30th, more than 28,000 households across Uttaradit and neighboring provinces have been affected. The Thai Meteorological Department reported that Tropical Storm Bualoi, though weakening over Laos, continues to interact with a strong southwest monsoon covering the Andaman Sea and the Gulf of Thailand. This convergence has intensified rainfall across northern Thailand, with Uttaradit among the hardest-hit provinces. Thunderstorms have battered the region for days, with rainfall exceeding 120 millimeters in some areas. The Nan River, which snakes through Uttaradit, has surged past its banks, inundating low-lying communities and threatening critical infrastructure. 5 districts, Muing, Thong Senkin, Tron, Pachai, and Labli, have been placed on high alert. Cell broadcast warnings were issued via major telecom providers, urging residents to move belongings upstairs and prepare to evacuate elderly or bedridden relatives. In Andaman Subdistrict, a dramatic incident captured national attention. A wooden house collapsed into the Huai Pha River after floodwaters eroded its foundation. The family escaped moments before their bedroom plunged into the torrent. Rescue crews secured the structure with cables, but strong currents forced them to suspend recovery operations until daylight. Flash floods have also struck remote villages, cutting off access and damaging bridges. Local officials report that several schools and health centers have been inundated, and power outages persist in rural areas. The DDPM has activated emergency protocols, deploying rescue teams, heavy machinery, and mobile medical units. Temporary shelters have been established in schools and temples, offering food, water, and basic health care to displaced families. Local administrative organizations are working around the clock to assess damage and coordinate relief. The Thai Red Cross has dispatched volunteers to provide psychological support and distribute emergency kits. Residents in flood-prone zones have been urged to remain vigilant, as further rainfall is expected. The DDPM's 1784 hotline remains active for urgent assistance. The floods have devastated agricultural lands, particularly rice paddies and fruit orchards along the Nan River. Farmers report total crop loss in some areas, with livestock swept away by rising waters. Roads and bridges have suffered extensive damage, disrupting transportation and supply chains. Markets and small businesses are shuttered, and tourism, already weakened by economic downturns, faces further decline. Schools in affected districts have suspended classes, and telecommunications remain unstable, complicating coordination efforts. Meteorologists warn that the monsoon trough remains active, and further rainfall could exacerbate the crisis. Thunderstorms are forecast across 70% of northern Thailand, with heavy to very heavy rain expected in Uttaradit, Phitsanulok, and Phetchabun. The Thai Meteorological Department advises mariners to avoid stormy areas, as waves in the upper Gulf of Thailand may exceed 3 meters. Small boats are urged to remain ashore. Geologists are monitoring soil saturation levels to assess landslide risks, while engineers inspect riverbanks and slopes for structural integrity. Meteorologists warn that the monsoon trough remains active, and further rainfall could exacerbate the crisis. Thunderstorms are forecast across 70% of northern Thailand, with heavy to very heavy rain expected in Uttaradit, Phitsanulok, and Phetchabun. The Thai Meteorological Department advises mariners to avoid stormy areas, as waves in the upper Gulf of Thailand may exceed 3 meters. Small boats are urged to remain ashore. Geologists are monitoring soil saturation levels to assess landslide risks, while engineers inspect riverbanks and slopes for structural integrity. Uttaradit's ordeal is part of a broader pattern of extreme weather events across Southeast Asia. The monsoon trough has triggered flooding and landslides in 8 provinces, affecting over 104,000 people and damaging more than 28,000 homes. Experts attribute the increasing severity of such events to climate change, which intensifies monsoon variability and rainfall extremes. Mountainous and riverine communities like Uttaradit face heightened vulnerability. Calls for improved early warning systems, resilient infrastructure, and community-based disaster preparedness are growing louder. We must adapt to the new climate reality, said a local NGO worker. Reactive measures are no longer enough. I watched the river rise hour by hour, said Ratri Abansik, whose home collapsed into the Huai Nam River. We heard cracking sounds and ran. I'm grateful we escaped. My farm is gone, said Samchai, a fruit grower in Labli district. The water came so fast. I've never seen anything like it. We need help, not just today, but for months ahead, said Chachain Gakmai, chief executive of Andaman Subdistrict. Recovery will be long and hard. Uttaradit's flood disaster is a stark reminder of the delicate balance between nature and human settlement. The swift response by local authorities and the solidarity among residents offer hope, but the event exposes systemic vulnerabilities: aging infrastructure, limited access to early warnings, and insufficient preparedness. As Thailand braces for more volatile weather, Uttaradit's story must serve as a catalyst for reform. Investment in resilient systems, community education, and climate adaptation is no longer optional, it's essential.